The 1980s were truly a magical time to grow up.
But how do we capture that magic and share it with the next generation?
Through the power of video.
Hey guys, I'm Abby.
And I'm Keith.
Welcome to our 80s Live podcast.
In modern times, we all have smartphones. And those smartphones double as a smartphone, but also video cameras.
Yeah, so it's like having a video camera right in your pocket all the time, and you can capture your daily life easily. But back in the olden days when we were growing up, we did not have that capability.
And kids today did not know our struggles.
So in the 60s and 70s, they had like the earliest versions of video cameras.
And most of the time, I don't think maybe at any time they didn't have audio. It was just video only.
The early ones were video only, and they were cumbersome and crude compared to what we have, of course, now.
Right, and that's really my first experience with a video camera of some sort was in the 70s. My uncle had one, and just remember as a little kid, me running around and, seeing that video back, it totally blew my mind.
It's fun to look at those, but they don't have any sound.
That's right. So let's fast forward to the 80s.
Okay.
And Abby got this beauty right here.
Well, before I got this, though, my uncle had one of those that had the VHS tapes. Remember those?
Oh, yes.
They were really big, and he'd have to carry it on his shoulder. Or I think, didn't they have some that had a separate piece?
Yeah, they had some that you had to have a little
around your waist.
Around your waist, or it was hanging on your shoulder, and that's where the cassette would be, and then you'd have the big old camera up here. I mean, it was quite the setup.
Right. No one was carrying that on family vacation, hardly anybody. And you definitely weren't carrying it to your everyday events like at school or whatever. And so then this one is the next generation. This was the 8mm, so it takes tapes that look like this. So I have like tons of these because that's when I got my camera in 1987.
Well, I was about to ask you, what year did you get that?
1987 for Christmas.
Okay.
So December of 1987, I got this bad boy. It's no longer functional, but we do keep it for, for posterity, I guess. I don't know why we keep it, but it's pretty cool.
It's sentimental.
It's sentimental because this thing recorded a lot of memories for me.
Okay, so I remember asking for a lot of different things for Christmas, but unfortunately for me, a camcorder was not one of those. So how did little Abby come to this conclusion that she goes, hey, I know what I want for Christmas. I want a camcorder. And then how did you talk your dad into buying you one? That's the crazy thing.
I don't know. I remember I did write it on my Christmas list that year. I wonder if maybe Sony was having an ad campaign where they were showing them. Maybe I saw a commercial for it. I didn't have any friends I was definitely the only friend that had one of my friend group.
I had no friends in junior high that had video cameras.
Yeah, I have no idea why I had this idea, like I wanted a video camera. I do know prior to that, I used to carry around a tape recorder, and I even had a microphone that plugged into it, and I would like make little radio shows and stuff with that. So I definitely was into like recording myself.
That's right. You were truly ahead of your time.
I guess. I didn't think so at the time, but now when I look back, and it's funny when you look at these videos, it's like, who was I talking to?
That's right. A lot of people were like, Abby's the OG vlogger.
Yeah, so we have uploaded some of these videos. There's lots more, but we have uploaded some of them so far to our YouTube channel. There's a whole playlist that's just called Old Home Movies. Some of my favorites are like the one where I gave a tour of our house, or the one where my friend and I went up to the school in the summer and we did a tour of the school. But when I was making those videos, I was definitely talking to the camera, but it was just really funny because I don't know who I thought was ever going to watch them. Definitely didn't think it was going to be uploaded onto this thing called the internet where, thousands of people could watch it whenever they wanted to. So that's super weird.
So, Abby, what were some of the things you were recording back in the 80s?
Well, I recorded all of the holiday stuff, like every Christmas, opening gifts, the classic things that families would do. But I also recorded a lot of really stupid stuff with my friends. That would be like, what do you guys want to do tonight? We'd have a sleepover. Let's make a horror movie. Let's, create a talk show or whatever.
Let's do a music video. Bret Michaels Talk Dirty to Me.
Oh, yeah, we did that. Well, that one was just like whatever was playing on the radio at the time. So Shannon and I would just turn on our favorite radio station, which was probably like 97.1 KEGL, the Eagle, and whatever was on the Eagle that night for the countdown or whatever, we would just dance to it. But sometimes we would actually write scripts and make little TV shows and parodies. And then also I used it for school projects. Yeah. So if my teacher would assign a project and give you the option, I would always be like, can this be a video? You know, like I would always ask if I could make a video. I liked it because if I had to give a speech or something, it would take the pressure off because I would preload it in the video. Then all I had to do is press play. And so it was like less scary, I think, than trying to do a presentation, like an oral presentation live.
That makes sense. So do you feel like you were the mastermind behind most of these quirky ideas you came up with? Or was this kind of a joint effort between you and your friends? Or did you like, hey, come over and we're going to do a video on fill in the blank, you know?
I never had like a predetermined idea. We came up with ideas together, but I probably was the mastermind a lot of the times. I don't know why. That was just my personality. It really hasn't changed that much. What you see now is pretty much the same as how it was.
So of all the videos you made, does like one stand out as like the absolute favorite one you ever did?
My favorite one is the one where I went to my high school because I'm just so glad that I did that. It was just, I liked the pairing when we went back and I did the then and now thing. I just thought that was so nostalgic and cool. Of the silly stuff that my friends and I did, I mean, it was all pretty bad. It's very embarrassing. It has taken a lot of convincing for myself and for my friends because I did get permission from my friend Allison, the one from the Headbangers Ball and the swimming pool Olympics and some of the other ones. I definitely asked her, and at first she was like, oh, Abby, I don't know if I want that on the internet. And I'm like, nobody knows who you are, so it's all good. So we took some convincing because our videos were ridiculous.
And I've been the one usually doing the convincing. I'm like, this is video gold.
Yeah, because he's watched all of them. But then I'm like, I don't know if that's YouTube, material.
It's definitely YouTube worthy for sure.
Oh, you know which other one I really like? The one where I did the video makeup and hair tutorial. Okay. What in the world? Like, why did I do that?
Kind of like the one where the cat's like eating the yogurt off your oatmeal off your face.
No, that was a different one. I'm talking about the one where I was showing everybody how to do my makeup.
Oh, I know. I'm talking about the one that I like.
Oh, you like the facials? We haven't shown them that one.
We haven't.
We haven't uploaded that one yet, so I'm sure that'll be coming soon.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, we did oatmeal facials at my friend's house.
The cat approved.
The cat started. We were laying down under the ceiling fan to let it like dry or whatever it was supposed to do, and the cat started eating it off our faces.
So is there anything that you wished you would have recorded in the 80s that you didn't?
Oh, yeah. I really wish I would have brought the camera to the mall.
That was going to be the one thing I was going to say. I wish you had video from the mall because I, too, spent a lot of time at the mall, especially with my cousin when I stayed with them during the summertime. We'd go to the mall on the regular, but, we don't have anything. We don't have pictures. We don't have video or anything from that.
Same. And I even worked at the mall. But if you think about it, who thinks I'm going to carry my video camera to the workplace, like to where I go for work? That's just work, right? I get off school. I had to rush across town because the mall where I worked wasn't that close to school. I usually was eating Taco Bell in the car. I wasn't thinking I'm going to capture my daily life. I just wasn't thinking that. But the daily life ones that I did capture, like my house, putting on makeup, fixing my hair, stupid stuff like that, those are my favorites because it's like a time capsule of what my life truly was like back then. Like, well, what do you guys want to do today? I don't know. Let's make a pizza. Okay. And then for some reason we recorded it.
All right, Abby. So obviously your obsession with video started at a young age, but you have a new obsession today. Would you like to share with our friends what that is?
Yes, I guess so. It sounds really weird, but I have this thing where I know I was not the only kid making these videos. And there's got to be others out there. So I started buying people's old videotapes at estate sales. Now, first of all, it's really weird that they're selling these things.
Yeah, she brought one home the first time. I'm like, why in the heck would family members sell their old memories?
Mm-hmm. This is the first one I bought. And I recognized it right away. It was the same type of tape that I was using. These are the Sony Video 8 tapes. So I knew that I could play it because we have a player for these that we use to digitize them. And I saw these tapes and I was like, oh my gosh, those are like the tapes I used to use. There was a bunch of them. I probably in hindsight should have bought more, but this one caught my eye because the person had used stickers to write on there, "Do not erase."
Well, you knew that was special.
Obviously it was special. Someone took the time to write that. It was probably a kid because they used stickers to write it out instead of just writing it like a grown-up would. And it just caught my eye, and I thought, if someone thought this was special enough to write "Do not erase" on here, it must be pretty cool. I'm going to buy it, and we're going to watch it.
And that's where the obsession started.
No, we did. And right off the bat, I got a good one because this thing was really fun to watch, very entertaining. It was kids the same age as me when I got my camera, so they looked like they were in probably about 7th grade. And they were just doing stupid stuff, playing guitar, fake commercials. They went to a hotel and were running around.
Burping, farting,
It was boys.
All the stuff boys do.
I should say it was 2 boys. So it was like the boy version of what my friends and I would have done. So we did a video. It's on our channel. We did a reaction video to that. It was very fun to watch. I realize this is weird. And there's kind of a voyeuristic element to it, like you're peeking into someone else's life. But I want to say, number one, people are selling these. It's not like I stole it or found it. Like I literally paid like a quarter, maybe up to $1.
We own it.
We own this now. And secondly, I see it as a way of saving these things. I'm saving them. Otherwise, if I didn't buy this and digitize it and upload it to YouTube and share it, who's gonna? Where's it gonna end up? In the trash? Probably. Because at the end of the sale, when the stuff doesn't sell, it's just either given away or thrown away.
Yeah, so I think the important thing is it's not necessarily our memories, but it's memories of the 80s. The attempt of trying to save those memories from the 80s.
Correct. Yeah, I see these as like a time capsule, just a snapshot of the time period. Some are 80s, some are 90s. There's like this period of time between getting camcorders and access to smartphones. And that time period, once those tapes are gone, like that's gone. And so now it's not a big deal. Like we can just whip out our phone, like you said, and we can record anything
and
everything.
Everything's on the cloud.
It's all on the internet. And so it's like not special anymore. But that stuff that people chose to get out their camera, charge up the battery, put a fresh tape in and press record and do all the things. Those things were recorded, and I just can't let them die. I feel like I have to rescue these things. So that's kind of what I've been doing.
Now, I have been joking with Abby because I said, hey, one of these times you're going to get a tape that has more on it than you bargained for, and that's going to be pretty funny.
It hasn't happened. We haven't gotten anything really personal. We got one that it wasn't personal, like bad. This lady was reading a letter from her son that I think was like overseas in the military or something. And it was at Christmas, and he'd sent a Christmas gift and a card. And she just starts crying. It's a really sweet video.
And we go through a lot of tapes, and there's a lot of things that will not get put on the channel.
Yeah. If something's personal, I would never share it to YouTube. But if it's like a nice snapshot of the time period, and one of the best ones, probably my favorite one that I've gotten, Terry's video to Aunt Vivian, 1985.
This is fantastic.
It's fantastic. Okay, so this one is on a VHS from Terry to his Aunt Vivian. So picture this. I go to Aunt Vivian's estate sale, apparently. They don't tell you the name of the people, but, I mean, clearly it was her estate sale. She's probably died, so rest in peace. She left behind this tape, and I just thought, oh, that's interesting. Someone has made a tape for somebody else. We used to do this. We would make a tape and send it to somebody, like a greeting card type thing, right? I did this for my friends. I would make videos to pen pals or something. There's probably videos out there that I made that I don't even remember. But anyway, he made this tape for his aunt. So I thought that might be interesting. It started out just like family. This is the dog. This is where I live. Interesting. Then we find out Terry's in a band.
And we're like, hello, I'm interested now.
It's the mid-'80s. He's in a band. What was the band's name? I already forgot.
I'm pretty sure it was Mannequin.
Oh, wait. It was Manic-N. Or something like that.
Mannequin.
They were trying to play with the word.
It was a play on words, but it was mannequin. And then they had a little mannequin
on the stage.
Up by the stage.
With like lights.
Yes.
So this is 1985. It's very 80s. And it's original music. It's pretty good, actually. And he shows her, like, he sends his aunt this tape of, like, some of their performances.
They were legitimate enough to have a photo shoot.
Yeah, they had a photo shoot, and, like, they were dressed, like, with the big hair. It's so 80s. And it's at Christmas time, and they go to they put money in the Salvation Army thing. And, I mean, it's just freaking adorable. I cannot wait to share this with you guys.
Yeah, at one point they go to the mall. I'm like, please record in the mall. Please record in the mall. Unfortunately, they turned it off when they got in the mall.
10 seconds in.
It's like, oh, that would have been awesome.
Yeah. So, and it's in Phoenix. I guess he moved to Phoenix and then sent this to his aunt in Kansas. So anyways, this is the kind of stuff I'm looking for.
Okay, Abby, so you're collecting these videos. What are you going to do with them?
All right. Funny you should ask, because I have started digitizing them. So there's a whole process. You get these tapes. It's either a VHS or it's this 8mm thing. First, you have to digitize it. We use a video capturing system. We digitize the tape. I edit it down to the most interesting parts. Then the magic happens, because I'm going to be uploading these to YouTube. But I was like, you know what? I don't want them on our channel, because that's our channel. That's where my videos live. So what am I going to do with these videos?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to put them on a new channel. We're starting a new channel, and it's called Your Life on Tape. Because remember, our 80s life is about our life and our 80s life. But this is Your Life on Tape. So it's everybody. It's you. It's random people whose tapes I've bought. If you have an old tape and you want to send it in and you want it to go on the channel, we can make that happen. But ultimately, it's just everyone's to share. So I'm putting these on Your Life on Tape.
So we just launched this channel. It's a brand new channel. Like Abby said, we'd like you to go over there and subscribe, watch a few of the videos, and let us know what you think about it. And we'll have it linked below, so it'll be easy for you to get over there. So Abby, obviously we're an 80s YouTube channel and podcast. Are these videos on this channel going to be limited only to the 80s?
No, they're not going to only be the 80s, because I used to only buy tapes that I thought were from the 80s. I even went to the trouble of figuring out like which brands and what color the packaging was. And I was really strict about only buying 80s. But then I realized, you know what? We're missing out on a lot of great material from the 90s, which was also pretty amazing.
Yeah, I remember one amazing tape from the 90s.
What?
Our wedding video.
Oh, no. Okay, so we got married in 1995. And we hired a professional videographer to film our wedding. And he did, to be honest, he did a good job.
For the time, he did a great job. But
Yes.
if you compare that to what you could do today,
It's ridiculous.
it's pretty archaic.
He even put this cheesy music and like a couple of special effects that look like smoke and stuff. I mean, it's funny to watch it now.
Yeah.
But think about it. That was a period of time. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Capturing those memories, which at the time when people were recording them, they didn't think it was funny. They weren't trying to be funny. But now when we look at it, it's kind of funny.
Well, yeah, but I think the point is there is a lot of video gold from the 90s that needs to be captured. So I think for a channel like this, including 80s and 90s, is totally appropriate.
Yeah, I just bought some from the 90s. We haven't even watched them yet. One of them's a wedding.
All right.
Okay, so we're talking about the period of time before everyone carried a camera in their pocket and to when the camcorders first became available. So, yeah, so it could be from the 80s to even the early 2000s is what we're aiming for. But obviously the 80s and 90s are my favorite to look at.
That's right. So be sure to go over there and subscribe. The channel is live. We'd love to get your input on what we're launching here, and we're hoping it turns into a big success. And hopefully others appreciate preserving that time period.
Yeah, I hope you guys can appreciate what I'm trying to do here. And, it gives me a place to put these things that I've become a little bit obsessed with, honestly.
That's right.
I feel like I'm rescuing. I keep saying I am rescuing these things. It goes for the objects. It goes for the tapes. I feel like I'm just trying to rescue and preserve people's memories. So that's what we're doing. We're not trying to find the people. We're just putting it on there. I'm buying these tapes. Let's do this.
Hey, thanks everyone for joining us today. That's a wrap.